finally had the chance to check out beautiful Greenville, South Carolina, and here were my first impressions. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button because we're going to be coming at you with a lot of content in the coming weeks. Stayed at the AC Marriott Hotel there in the Camperdown development. Highly recommend staying as close to Main Street as possible. This particular development is fairly new. It has Jenny's Ice Cream, Starbucks, all that typical stuff, but also a lot of good seating areas and overall pretty good feel. It was very hot, so that's why in these pictures it doesn't appear that there was much going on, but there was more in the evening times. As you head up Main Street, there's just a lot of great quality restaurants, quality shops. You have a mix of old and new architecture. You have some flush street elements, a very good tree canopy, and some really nice new buildings just mixing in there with the old buildings. You have some really nice porches above retail. There's some restaurants, shops, apartments, hotels, a lot of fountains, and a lot of places to sit, even if you're not at one of these establishments, which is a really nice thing to see. One of my complaints about a lot of cities, there's just not a lot of places to exist and just chill out, people watch, do whatever you want to do if you're not at an actual restaurant. No time in Greenville is complete without a trip to Falls Park. Just acres and acres of space with the river going right through, tons of trails, tons of seating area, tons of restaurants, shops, apartments, hotels, so much to see, so much to do, and so much beauty that's really hard to find in an urban setting, especially in a city of this size. They really have to be applauded for what they've been able to do in the last 20 years, because it wasn't always like this. Just 20 years ago, 25 years ago, there was actually a really major road going right over the waterfall, and they ripped that out, put in this beautiful pedestrian bridge that is now just one of the main attractions of an urban setting in the South. And they even left a few clues of the old bridge there, and they had that history placard just to show how far they've come. So many people out having a good time, playing in the rocks, swimming in the water. They advise against that. I wouldn't get in it. But even on this 100-degree weekend, loads of people were out, people in the water, people having picnics, just out having a good time, and it's free. A lot of nice places aren't free to enjoy. From the lush landscaping to the different trail typologies, you have walking trails, bike trails, stone trails, trails that lead you right down to the rocks, trails that are bike accessible or wheelchair accessible. They really left no detail untouched, which is just really impressive. Things that you see normally in cities that are much bigger than this. Downtown Greenville in general, if you're on Main Street or you're on the waterfront, you'd really think you're in a major city such as Charlotte, Atlanta, Nashville, some of the top tier southern cities, but you're in a city of just 70,000 people. The metro area is slightly over a million. They are growing pretty quickly, but just really, really have to be lauded. They've won a lot of awards. The bridge itself, just stunning architecture, stunning engineering marvel. And as you see, as the sun goes down, the amount of people out, like I said, even on a 100-degree day, was impressive. So I can't imagine a nice 70-degree fall day. So something I do when I go to cities is usually I try to bring my e-scooter. I would bring my bike, but it's a little harder to lug around. So I was able to explore about 10-12 miles of Greenville there one of the mornings. Came across this great new park called Unity Park, which it's about a mile outside of downtown, and they have some good stuff going in there along the park. It was a formal industrial site, but now you're starting to see some new breweries and restaurants going in, and I'm sure before long we'll start to see some housing coming in because there is a lot of vacant space. but it's just really cool to see something out of nothing and to get some of these beltline type developments going in other cities here. You have this really cool pedestrian bridge. My only complaint about the park, which is with most brand new parks, there's not much shade at all, and on a 100-degree day that is rough. But as far as the rest of the greenway, since it is following that river, there was tons of shade. My one complaint, it is an older greenway, so there's a lot of root intrusion, which made for a very bumpy and sometimes a little bit of a scary ride. Couldn't use my full 15-20 mile per hour capability of the scooter. And a nice surprise was it does look like they've extended the greenway quite a bit, even compared to what I was able to see on Google Earth before I previewed my route. But just a really, really nice environment there down by the creek, down by the river. There's a couple of cool parks. There's actually a zoo, tons of sculptures, and a pretty decent amount of terrain too, which was kind of surprising since you were right along the creek, but I guess that's something you get when you're along the fall line. Another cool area of downtown is the West End area, which is where their minor league baseball stadium is. You see a lot of converted warehouses, a lot of cool studios and new build apartments coming in. While Greenville has gotten two very important things right, their Main Street and their riverfront, outside of that, there's a lot to be desired. If you step off of Main Street, you're like any other typical southern city. Tons of surface lots, not a lot happening, very hostile roads. I noticed their ADA ramps were in very bad shape outside of Main Street. Step out a couple of more blocks and you're basically in suburbia. Nothing but single family homes, except for some cool missing middle going in around the West End area. Just tons of stroads, 7-lane roads, not even a mile outside of downtown. They don't have any highways going through downtown, which is a good thing, but outside of that, there's really not a lot going on. It's a city of about 70,000 total, right around 1 million for the metro area, but they really have to be applauded for what they've done with Main Street and the riverfront. Not a lot of places get what they can right. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Also check out my website. That's not going anywhere. We have plenty more coming on there, as well as this YouTube channel. So spread the word. I definitely appreciate it. Let me know what you think. And also let me know what else you guys would like to see. Definitely want to hear from you all. Thank you.